Welcome back to JDM Legends presented by Turn 14 Distribution. Today we are headed to the dyno. We are so close to being done here, and my goodness, this car looks so good. I'm just so pumped on how it turned out. But first things first, we do have to take care of this right here. If you guys know what goes here, this is supposed to be a wiper, and we've decided to delete it. I jumped onto Amazon actually. I looked at a bunch of options out there, and I didn't really love what was available until I came across this little plug off of Amazon, which is not a rubber one. So this is actually, it honestly looks like it's billet cut, which is really nice. And the upside of this now is we're gonna be able to wrap this in the blue and then plug it up like that, and it's gonna look superb. Guys, I wrapped something without screwing it up.
Yeah,
look at that, man. And there we go. So now we are gonna lay this down, and how good does that look? The beauty of this thing is it comes with this, like, again, this billet piece here that I can bolt up from the backside with a little O-ring there.
Yeah, nice.
And it should secure it quite nicely if it fits up into here, which it does. That, I think, looks as good as a wiper delete can. And I think the beauty of that is because we have a wrap. So that just like laid over perfectly. It certainly looks awesome. Now it is time to take care of one last thing before we take this thing for a drive up to the dyno. Believe it or not, one of the hardest things to get for this thing has been this window stopper, and actually this is not the original one. This is what I could find the closest to the Supra one. The Supra ones are discontinued, unfortunately, and if you guys watched the previous episode, we did not have them for the window. They do go here. I'm hoping that we don't have to shave these or anything, but I'm gonna put them in right here, and then we can see if this window goes up perfectly, then we can bolt this all together and we'll be done. As you guys can see, the stoppers are in and they are tuned and they do work. I think these are from like a 2003 Toyota Celera. Super random, but I found them and they seem to work great, so everything seems to be lined up now. So it's finally time we can start putting this door back together. One last piece of the puzzle here is we were missing the vapor barrier, so we just actually grabbed some of this plastic we had lying around, which feels exactly the same, which is kind of nice. And we've got some butyl left over from the headlights, so we're gonna repurpose this, run a bead, stick this on, and we are going to have OEM-ish perfection. And with these two last clips, that marks the interior essentially done, which is amazing. So let's just jump in here and go for a drive, guys, because I'm excited to see how this thing drives at the new ride height now and with everything finished inside too. Man, it is nice to be in this car and feel that it's pretty much complete at this
really,
point. Like,
it looks awesome. It seems to be driving well.
And now with the ride height a little bit higher, it certainly feels so much more composed over the bumps. Like,
yes.
This road is one of the worst roads I find for bumps, and it still soaks it up so much better. This little like full raise here, and look at that, it soaks it up so much better. And man, so many people dog the automatic transmission, but I feel so few have actually driven it and can talk about it or really, you know, have a proper experience for it. And I think it's not that bad at all. It certainly gives you an experience of what a Supra is like with an auto gearbox.
Yeah. Not everybody wants to bang gears all the time. If you're, you know, in a situation where either you don't know how, you have no interest in driving a manual, or you do, you're in stop and go traffic all the time and you just want something to cruise in, then I must admit, the Lexus being an automatic, I don't hate it. And this car really reminds me a lot of the Lexus in the way this auto behaves. It's actually pretty good. It doesn't feel like it sucks all the fun out of the experience. It still makes cool noises. You know, you still feel like you're in a Supra, because guess what? You are in a Supra with a 2J. Life could be worse, man. Life could be worse.
And what about the change with the new wheels and tires? Like putting new tires on a car, it's like transforms it. Those old Dunlops, like they gotta be like 10, 15 years old. They were camber worn, and putting these guys, the new Conti Extreme Contact Sports on here, it's just like, it's such a different ball game. Like, how much better is it, right?
It feels like a new car.
The brakes certainly feel like they have more bite, and we haven't even bedded them in yet. So I'm really happy with those. So let's see what look at, watch this. This is partial throttle, and look at it picks up instantly, and of course then it's got your
second turbo kicks in.
Turbo kicks in there, and that was just like, man, probably 30 or 40% throttle. So it's like you don't always need to be hammering this thing to go fast. It's got plenty of pickup. We're gonna find it. Look at this fucking idiot. The other thing is, it really makes good noises. Like listen listen to that turbo, and then if I slowly the release, the HKF blow-off valve, and that HKS intake combo, and the exhaust system. Yeah, it sounds great. They just all pair so well. All HKS kind of give you that 90s vibe, right? Yeah, it does have a great sound to it, and it's by no means loud. Like, you could enjoy this car on a long cruise. For sure you could. I don't think you'd find it tiring. Like, the roads here are so bad, we're getting bounced around a bit, but on the highway, that wouldn't be an issue. And the sound quality is not boomy. It's really very impressive. And you're clear, buddy. All right, so let's see. Oh man, it's got good top end. Oh, look, dude, really it's so smooth. Yeah, like those twins. Yeah, they're just so good. Like, this car is a blast to drive. Come on, it is. It really is. Who's gonna get into this thing and be like, oh, it's automatic sucks. It's slow. Like, guys, I know everyone's used to 1,000 horsepower Supras, but this for like an OEM plus build and like having the essence of what the 90s were with these twin turbos is just perfection. It's just like a boost up, and it runs so well. Yeah, what'd you hit there? 15 PSI, man. So sure enough, cooler weather is gonna make this thing run a little bit more, but we are within that safety margin. So, man, I'm excited to see what this thing puts down on the dyno. So let's I think it's gonna be pretty solid. And one last thing. Yes. You can use this power on the street. Like, this car is actually fun to drive. You can go full throttle, make a pull like that, and not go to jail. Where, you know, if we're in a 1,000 horsepower Supra right now, we're just lighting up tires. That's right. We're just making heat, and we can't really use it on the street. So, look at that. Look at that. It feels so good and linear, too. Like, dude, it's really nice linear power. The 2J just makes great noises, too. I mean, this thing is a win for me right now. Huge win. And we made it back to BMS Tuning. This is John, of course, the owner and dyno operator here. And this thing got strapped down quick. Trey, the world's fastest tech, gets this thing strapped down in there about 30 seconds flat. So what do you think? We're gonna make some predictions on power here. We've given you a quick rundown of what's been modified. It's not a lot, is it?
No, it's pretty straightforward bolt-on stuff, but I think it's gonna help a lot. Maybe 340 wheel.
Okay, I like that. I think it feels surprisingly strong to me. I'm going to go 350 just because I'm always the optimist. And Pete, always the pessimist, will go lower than that, won't you?
Yeah, I'm going with 315.
315, wow, okay. 315, yeah. Should we hit up a couple of more guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go hit the crew.
Ask them. I'm going to say about 350, 360.
350, 360, okay. Oh, okay, if you had to pick one, is it going to make 350 or 360?
I'm going to say 350. All right, I'm going to say we're going to do 332.
332, okay.
Yeah. That's good.
And?
335.
335, all right.
All right, I'm gonna have to go with 341. One more than John did. John did, what, 340? Yeah. So let's go 341.
Man, PT, everyone's kind of siding with me, 340, 350 range. You down at 315?
I know, man. Maybe. Serious? My butt dyno's never been good, so.
Well, we're gonna find out how good it is. So.
I kind of feel like I should bump it up to 320 at least at now.
So. I'll give you that. We'll give you 320. And let's fire this thing up and see what she does. Wow, this thing made a bunch more power than I think any of us expected. It made a peak of 383 wheel horsepower and 358 wheel torque, which is higher than any of us guessed. So, Peter, your pessimism finally did not pay off. I'm happy to say that.
I knew it was going to make more power. I just had to come in low, you know, as I always do.
You let me have the win. I appreciate it. And we've got a little bit of a VTEC situation going on here, John. What do we have here?
It's on this first turbo until 4,000 RPM. So on the dyno it's a little bit different. On the street you would never feel this because we're holding it in one gear, so it's not downshifting being an auto. On the street it would just simply downshift and you would be, you know, above here.
Right.
But on the dyno we're starting it at 2,500 and we're kind of holding it there. And this is the first turbo, and then this is both of them come in right here.
Yes.
So it does look like a VTEC one. So.
I know. I want you to move the crossover point down here so we get all this area into the curve back. But
It'd be nice.
like you said, like it would just be in third gear here and then fourth gear, and it would always keep you in the second turbo.
Exactly. You're always going to be above 4,000.
Yeah. Well, I'm really impressed by how much power this thing makes on those stock twins.
We should also mention that was 14 PSI.
14 PSI, we should mention that. And the air fuel ratios were safe. They were
Very
pretty
safe,
rich, weren't
very
they?
safe, low 11s, high 10s in some spots. So.
Yeah, so we don't have any fueling issues to worry about. All in all, that is some really solid horsepower and confirms my butt dyno more accurate than PT's, everyone.
Well, DP, man, I'm very, very surprised at the numbers. But I shouldn't be because it's a 2J.
That's right.
And a 2J makes power, lots of power. All you gotta do is throw a little bit of extra boost at it and my goodness, man, 383 wheel horsepower.
And it feels like it's making all of that on the street. It feels really strong. And I guess it shouldn't be that big a surprise. I think we're kind of used, our brains are kind of calibrated for smaller engines. We're kind of used to like, you know, 4-bangers. We're not that used to the straight six. Although, I mean, you have the 2J M3, but.
You know what I think it is for me? It's because we put these twins on and there was so many comments. There was so much of like this preconceived notion that they're not gonna make power. They're super crappy. And you know what? Like aside from having that 4,000 hit where the second turbo kicks in, and if you have partial throttle, you can kind of feel it coming in. I think that's the only thing that kind of reminds you of this twin turbo system. Otherwise, man, they're flawless. Like, you know, the amount of power made there, that's pretty amazing for a twin turbo setup, a car from 1993. Stock ECU, you know, an exhaust mod, a filter mod, and some cams, and look at this thing. Like, it is incredible.
450 crank horsepower. You know, that's like what you would get out of a modern sports car.
Yeah, and you know what? Like if you saw 15, or let's say 16 to 17 PSI, which is still safe apparently on these turbos, this thing's 400
over
to the
400
tire.
Yeah, over 400.
So
for sure.
I'm just kind of like really blown away by the performance of this. And like I said, that's just because I feel like I thought I was gonna be so let down with the twins.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be let down by the gearbox, but the gearbox has been great too.
Sure, why not?
It like cruising back from the dyno today, like it's a pleasure to drive. You give it a bit of gas, it downshifts, like it does what you want it to do. So
I think where you feel it, where you know its age is in between the shifts. It does have like that very torque converted feel where it's like
a pause,
it's a pause, and then it kind of like comes back in. Where, you know, with the modern day transmissions, they're just like sharper. So it's more like a twin clutch kind of thing. So that's the only spot I would say it does feel like a 90s gearbox. But all in all, man, I'm so happy how this has all come together. And the bonus is the car drives amazing. It doesn't rattle. It's perfect. Like on the highway, it's great. Like everything has been
great sounds.
good about this car.
It's got a great seating position. Like it's a comfortable place to be.
Yeah, man.
These 510 coilovers on the highway ride very nice. I know some of you were like, oh my God, it looks like it rides so rough on these streets. But around our shop, it is literally a war zone. Like you'd need like a long travel off-road suspension to make it look smooth around here.
All right, guys, we are going to wrap this episode here. I hope you enjoyed this one. The dyno stuff really was pretty awesome. In the next episode, which is going to be the final episode, we're going to talk about selling this car, what kind of price we should set. The market is so crazy, and at that
100 grand, everyone, 100 grand.
Yeah, it's collector grade. And at that point, we would love to have your input. So I think what we're going to do is have a premiere going on, which it means the episode's gonna run, we're gonna be there, there's gonna be a live chat, and we can answer questions, and we can talk about whether we think the price is good, whether we thought the price is crazy.
Live. We'll live auction on YouTube, everyone.
So we'll do something like that, and if that works out, I think it'll be a really cool thing to add on to the episode. So we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Certainly, if you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, go hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up.
OEM Plus, everybody. It's the winning formula right here.